Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 8 Letters Book Talk. I am Gloria, and I have a very special guest with us here today. But before I ask her to introduce herself, I would like to ask her, how are you doing today, ma'am?
Thank you for that question, Miss Gloria. I'm doing fine.
Great! It's afternoon at the moment, and I think it was a little hot earlier, but we'll try to make this book talk casual and chill so we can just converse about this wonderful and interesting book. So, without further ado, I'd ask you to introduce yourself and, of course, the book. What is it about?
Okay, thank you very much for that. So, hello everyone. My name is Athena Yap. I'm a registered, licensed, and practicing speech-language pathologist. I'm also an author, an artist, a musician, singer, and a dancer. So my book, 𝘕𝑒𝑘e and the Rainbow, is about hope. The story tells of a young man who sees no meaning in anything at all, and how the hope of a wise lady named 𝘕𝑒𝑘e counters that.
You know, Miss Athena, from the title of the book, I was very much interested. But seeing as to how you have so many skills and talents is also interesting to me. So that's really wonderful.
Thank you.
So for my next question, I would like to know, since of course I also read this manuscript, what inspired you to write this book? Do you have any personal experiences or philosophies that fuel this motivation?
Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, so guys, pay attention in class, okay? Listen to your teacher. But in truth, 𝘕𝑒𝑘e's first appearance actually originates from me drawing her in class. I'd been listening to a song called The Inner Light by the Beatles, and the lyrics are about wisdom. So that song inspired me to create a character who was very balanced and wise, 𝘕𝑒𝑘e. And in particular, these are the lyrics that struck me to create 𝘕𝑒𝑘e's character. So the lyrics are, "Without going out of my door, I can know all things of earth. Without looking out of my window, I can know the ways of heaven." So originally, when I was around 16 to 17 years old and writing the first concepts of 𝘕𝑒𝑘e and the Rainbow, she was just supposed to feature in a collection of stories that just showcased her power in changing the world, both literally and figuratively. And I remember the first story I ever wrote starring 𝘕𝑒𝑘e in the conceptual stage was about her and a boy, who later turned out to be Felix, rowing out into the swamp where they meet a crocodile mermaid. And what pushed me to change the direction of the story was the treatment that I experienced at the hands of cynical people who wish to drag others down. I've met cynical and nihilistic people, as well as the opposite, hopeful and very optimistic people. And personally, in my experience, the trend I noticed was that the hopeful and optimistic people tended to be more grounded and practical rather than the cynics and the nihilists. There was also inspiration from when there were times I held on to hope and kept moving forward. Things got better when I hung on and hoped compared to when I'd just give up. Thank you.
Wow, that is very nice to know, ma'am. Actually, when I was reading the book, there were so many instances, right, when I will not spoil, but there's a character who would have a very negative outlook or approach to situations, and 𝘕𝑒𝑘e would actually counter it with different stories that are very positive and encouraging. And I think that's a good way to actually apply, you know, the experiences you have with those two kinds of people and what you've learned. And I think that the book actually has a lot of great lessons. Definitely something even a person my age would appreciate reading.
Thank
So
you very
for my
much.
next question po, you're welcome. What is the significance of the rainbow in the book, and does it have a special meaning or significance for you?
Okay, so in the book, it is explained that rainbows are beautiful not just for, let's say, the flaming red or the Pacific blue, their colors, but also for what the rainbow can represent. A rainbow is a promise of good things to come. As they say, there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and that doesn't just mean money. It's a symbol of all things positive and good. So the rainbow also symbolizes acceptance, unity, coexisting with diversity, and creativity. Even as a kid, I've always loved rainbows. The rainbow, I believe, is my personal signature. Most, if not all, my works have a rainbow drawn into them somewhere. No matter the artwork, may rainbow yan.
I agree. It's very much you, Ma'am Athena, especially when you were saying your skills a while ago. I was like, wow, she can do a lot. And it's very interesting. I mean, for someone who hasn't read the book, if I hear, the different skills and talents and uh, stuff that you do, I would be interested to read the book. Of course, to know what you have to say and how you convey that through the characters and your creativity. So that's very interesting. And I actually do agree, the rainbow, it brings back memories or significances of one's childhood. Those times when all you would do is play and you read some books, you watch cartoon shows, and I think even in cartoon shows you see like the colors, right? There's so many colors, so many characters, and I think that's a wonderful symbol to have because it's very telling of the kind of person you are. Very lighthearted, very diverse, and complex, and very much unique. So that's really wonderful, po, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Miss Gloria.
So, for my next question, I would like to ask, especially since we've seen a surge of readers since the pandemic, a lot of people, especially the youth, are interested in reading books or getting into literature. So, I would like to know, how can you convince today's young readers to engage with Philippine literature as a whole?
Okay, so I will answer that question first from the point of view as a speech therapist. So personally, I use materials that can be found in Philippine literature, our literature. So for example, stories about Philippine games or even folklore. The students and I, we read Philippine mythology together, so it targets two things at a time: supplementing language to help the child's communicative development and introducing them to the wonder of Philippine literary significance. So social media as well is an effective aspect in promoting Philippine literature. It's very easy to spread word nowadays, so social media can be a factor in exposing young readers to Philippine literature. And I hope that our social media will be responsible for this. So to the parents, I do encourage you to promote Philippine literature to your kids. Parents, plug your devices and lead your children to Philippine literature. To the young people, I advise explore. There are so many gems to discover in the world of Philippine literature, so many amazing works. Especially the storybooks, they're so fantastic. The wordplay and the vivid descriptions, amazing. And in my personal belief, actually, I feel that every barangay should have a library stocked with books because when children see that literature is being promoted, they get that interest.
I agree with you, ma'am. When I was younger, I actually played with a lot of toys, but if not for my parents, I wouldn't actually be reading books because the first reaction that a child would have if you gave them a toy or a book is, of course, they would play the toy instead of the book. So I was very much encouraged and trained to read. And as a literature major, I agree that sometimes it's about the accessibility, because a lot of kids nowadays are on their phones or iPads, and that's actually detrimental to them, right? Even for their health and their eyes. Especially, I see young kids who have glasses already at such a young age, and it's quite unbelievable. And I think that this book in particular, the fact that I said or my age group would appreciate reading this book, I think it's a good way for people to start at least or try exploring Philippine literature, since especially as you said, there are a lot of gems, and often people are just not sure where to start or who to choose from, but exploring is very much important. So I agree with you, po.
Thank you, po.
So for my last question, po, do you have a final message to your readers? You can also promote yourself in the book in this section before we formally end the book talk.
Okay, thank you very much. So my final message: it is our responsibility as adults and readers to lead by example and show our children that there is always hope in all circumstances. This goes for everyone. Hope heals. So hang on to hope. And thank you. See you guys in September. I'll be having a book signing.
Wow, a book signing. You guys should stay tuned for that. I'm pretty sure details will be out soon. But if you guys are interested in this kind of book and in meeting Miss Athena Yap, please do attend the book signing and please support her book. So thank you so much, Miss Athena, for your time today. Once again, I am Gloria, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
Thank you.